Now, I'm going to ask you to gather a few things you'll need. You'll need your iPad, something to scribble with, a notebook or scrap paper, and a pack of cards. I'll wait here while you get your stuff together. Go ahead and pause the video now. Okay, cool. Got my iPad, my pencil, my notebook, and my pack of cards here. Do this with me real quick. Shuffle your cards, and then draw 7 and lay them out. What I want you to do is use your iPad to take a picture of your spread. Pause this video a second to do that. I'll wait. Alright, let's see what I got. I got the Jack of Clubs, the 10 of Hearts, the King of Clubs, the Jack of Diamonds, the 10 of Clubs, the 2 of Clubs, and the Ace of Spades. What'd you get? Name your cards out loud. Now, let me see if I can remember mine. It's the first time I'm trying this. Jack of Hearts, 10 of Clubs, Jack of Diamonds is in there, 2 of Clubs, I think, Ace of Spades was the last one, and that's all I got. See if you can do yours. Well, here's the thing. Research has shown that working memory has a limited capacity. Many researchers say that that limit is about 7 chunks of information. Well, of course, there's a lot of debate about that. In my own experience, I think I could only juggle maybe 4 or 5 pieces of information in my brain before I forget. So what do? How do we remember more than just 4 to 7 chunks of information? Check this out. I'm going to take 7 chunks and turn it into 1 chunk. So the first thing I do is try to turn the data into information. I'm looking for shapes I can arrange the cards into that I can remember. I notice I've got 2 different colored 10s and 2 different colored jacks. I have a club in both sets, so I put the clubs on top and make plus signs that are memorable. King, Ace, 2 goes round the bend, so I put it in an arc, and the ace is a different suit, so it helps that it's in the middle. Now here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to draw a diagram of my arrangement on my notepad, and then I'm going to make these cards into a little stack. Okay, so I had 7 pieces of information to remember. Now I have 1. The 10 of Hearts, the 10 of Clubs, the Jack of Diamonds, the Jack of Clubs, the King of Clubs, the Ace of Spades, the 2 of Clubs. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to find a way to arrange your cards that's memorable to you, then draw a diagram of it in your notebook or scrap paper, and then use your iPad to take a picture of that diagram. You can pause the video while you work on that. I'll wait. Okay, great work. Now we're going to take this thing to the next level. I'm going to teach you the traditional French names of the kings. That's 4 pieces of information, a good size for your active working memory. Ready? Repeat after me. David, Charles, Alexander, Caesar. One more time, it's David, Charles, Alexander, and Caesar. So first thing is I look for patterns. I see I've got 2 red cards and I've got 2 black cards alternating. So I'm going to copy that down. Black, red, black, red. Then I'm going to try and think about the initials. And I remember there's the name of a heavy metal band, AC/DC. It's got the same initials, but it's in the wrong order, so I'm going to switch two of these. So now I've got Alexander Charles David Caesar. How am I going to tell my black ones apart? I've got David as Spades, and that reminds me there's a comedian named David Spade, and so I'm going to remember that. And then what about my red ones? I've got Caesar at the end, and I remember that at the end of his life, Caesar was assassinated. So I'm going to tip that card sideways to symbolize him being dead. So let me see. I'm going to copy down this shape that I've made now. It's a unique shape, like no other shape I've seen. See, that's important. 4 cards next to each other, all looking the same, could be anything. But now I've got an arrangement of 4 cards that's unique, so I can associate it with this piece of information. See if it works for you. Look at this image and recall the names of the 4 kings. But hang on, look. This older chunk is still in my brain, but it's kind of fading. It's been there for a while. I have to rehearse it in order to remember. So what was the arrangement I came up with? It was 2 plus signs and an arc. So let me rehearse. I had the 10 of clubs, the 10 of hearts, the jack of clubs, the jack of diamonds, the king of clubs, the ace of spades, and the 2 of clubs. This diagram represents the theory of Alan Baddeley, and what I want you to do is copy this shape down into your notebook, leave space in each of these boxes, and as I walk you through it, fill them in. All right, let's start over here. This is your visuospatial scratch pad. That's the part of your brain that can remember the route through a building. Over here is the phonological loop. That's the part of your brain that takes in auditory information, spoken words, and kind of keeps cycling them or looping them in order to hold them in your working memory before they evaporate. That's how you can remember a phone number before you write it down. In the middle, both of those systems feed into what's called the episodic buffer. It's a buffer because things kind of churn there for a moment as you retain them. It also allows you to remember things in a sequence. If we pull back, you can see that for things to end up in long-term storage, they have to kind of have this give and take. The theory is that you have to connect new information to old information. You call up an old memory and you bind it to the new information, like when we used AC/DC and David Spade, things we already knew, to help us remember the names of the kings. And finally, up top is the central executive. This is the part of the brain that just helps to coordinate the efforts between all these other parts here. Here's the thing. What's really fascinating to me is that no memory is really permanent. Every time you remember something, you recall it to mind, you're actually doing 2 things. You're rewriting it and you're connecting it to new stuff. So everything we think of as making us who we are, our memories, are fluid and changing all the time. It's kind of fascinating, isn't it? Okay, we're almost done. I just need to give you your homework assignment. You've already taken 2 pictures. 1 of your 7 cards, and 2 of the arrangement you made to help you remember them. Now I want you to take a 3rd picture on your iPad. Take a picture of the drawing you made of Baddeley's model of working memory. Then take those 3 pictures, attach them to an email, and send it to me in first class. That will count as your homework grade. Well, that about wraps it up. I'll see you in class.